What's up, guys? This is the Board Game Roamer, and I'm here now with our playthrough of Xia. You just saw, hopefully, recently the insert that I did for this game, and I said that once I did that insert, I'll do a playthrough, and so I'm going to do that. I am doing this a little bit different. In that I'm going to try to show you, how the setup from start to finish, as far as getting it out. Normally, when I'm doing a playthrough, I have everything already set up, and it's like, okay, here's the table. But I'm going to show you everything from start to finish, just so that you can kind of see how that works. You can see what the insert does for me, and just kind of give you an idea. This is pretty high up, and I'll try to adjust this so that we can really get everything in that we need to get in. So basically just have one camera. Excuse me. So let's get started. We are going to be playing, like I said, Xia, and we're going to be using the solo variant. Or not really variant, but we're going to be playing solo. So, let's start. With that, pull out all of our paperwork here. We don't need all this. Most of this we don't need. Just set this stuff to the side for now. Some of this we will hold on to. We'll hold on to the solo rules. And the rule books, in case we have any questions. Because I have not played this enough at this point to, have memorized everything. But this is a really fun game. I have played this kind of off camera a couple times already, and just had a ton of fun with it. So I'm really looking forward to this, seeing how well I do against the AI. So here's our resource tray. We'll just set that right there for now. Then we have our resources. We'll set this off to the side as well. We have our cards. We'll set that just off to the side. And we have this tray with our event tokens, Ember, some additional mods. We have our map tiles. It's going to be important. And we have our outfits. Again, we'll set that to the side. And we have our components. Pull that out, because we will be needing some pieces out of that. And then we have, of course, our NPCs. Those right there. We have our level 1, tier 1 ships. And then, of course, tier 2 and tier 3. I'm going to leave those in here in the box for now. Although, certainly, you could just sit those, up to the top off camera if you needed to. Hopefully, with this setup, actually, I think I am going to do that, because inevitably I'll end up needing them and not have access to them. Set that to the side for now. So we're going to need the economy board, and this is, remember, this is new with Embers of a Forsaken Star. We'll set that here to the side. We will need the victory point marker. We'll set that right there. The rest I'm going to leave in here for now. We don't need the first player token. We don't need the comet yet, and depending on the ship we pick will determine if we needed any of these two tokens. So we'll just leave those in there for now. And set this over here. pull out all of our ships out of that. Obviously, we'll need our fame point tracker, which again, I'll put here. And I'm going to play the full 20 just because I want to. The game is a super fun, and I think it would be a lot of fun to do that. So then we have our tier 1 ships. Let's pull out our tier 1 ships and take a quick look. See, we have the Vagabond, and the Vagabond, the Swamp Rat, the Easy Tiger, the Ghost Stalker, the Puddle Jumper, the Numerator. Oh, do I have 2 Easy Tigers in here somehow? Oh no, I do. Huh. Oh, I do know what the difference is. There's not really a difference. So, what should we play? I like a larger impulse, but the hold size is going to be key here too. Oh man, I want to play something I have not played. So maybe let's go with a Vagabond. We'll go with a Vagabond. So that's going to be our level 1 ship. That's going to be our starting ship. So we can put this back in here for now. Deal with that later. Remember, when we start, we get 4,000 credits. That's to buy outfits. So we'll have to do that here in a second. But first, we're going to pull out of our slot here the ships, things that we're going to need. Well, we're going to need the kiln, and we're going to need our NPC ships. So we'll definitely just go ahead and set those aside. Flip this over. We're looking for the Vagabond. There he is. There's the 2. Excuse me. And this is what I love, because normally I'd be like, what do I do with this, like this huge stack? Well, it's real simple. I just drop them right in there. That's exactly what I do with them. It's the Vagabond. We have two abilities. We have the Beta Grid, which basically allows us to spend a minor action in 1 energy, roll a die, and potentially gather some cargo, which is be super helpful. And then Quantum Ripple. It says when you take the blind jump or scan action, choose the orientation of the new sector. Edge symbols need not match. So basically, we can orient the symbols however we want for blind jumps or scans, which we could definitely use that to our advantage. And when we use our impulse, there are no unexplored sectors. We're going to go with a Beta Grid. That's just too good to pass up. So we'll put that there. We'll put this back in here. And we'll put this cell sort at the bottom because we're not going to use him. Cool. So we've got that. What else do we need to do? I think that's it for now in that respect. So we're going to go ahead and put all this back in. And I still have not, if you watch the video, you'll remember that there were some things that I needed to do to sand that down. I have not done that quite yet, so that's why that's a little bit more difficult. Set that over there. Let's go ahead and pull out our dice. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and we'll pick our player color, and let's go with yellow. Now, the other cool thing that I didn't show when I was showing this off before is that these edges on both sides are not glued, so they do just lift right off, which makes getting access to these tokens considerably easier than otherwise, because I have tried that before and it has been a bit of a challenge sometimes pulling those off. So there we go. We'll pull those out, and then we'll need one more for the AI on this. So we'll let them be red to track their fame point progress, and then we'll put this back on. Oops. Get it in the right space because we're done with it. Cool. And then there's the resources that we'll need. So resource wise, well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and mark our power. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have an energy marker. We have a marker for us and a marker for the AI on the fame track. And we have an extra one, but we probably won't be using it, so I'm just going to set it off to the side. All right, cool. So next, let's go ahead and grab our ship. Look over here. Get the Vagabond, so I believe that it's this guy. It's interesting, the picture he's very yellow, but in actuality, as you can see, he's very orange. So there's our ship. Cool, cool. And set that up there. We'll get the NPCs out here in a second, but I'll go ahead and again set that up there off of the table. I'm going to go ahead, and you can do this any way you want, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and pull all these tokens out. And I haven't actually done this yet, using this as the setup, so we're learning together because that's how we roll, right? So that's to the side for now. I'm going to make sure all these are flipped over. I've kind of thought another way to do this might be if you had some sort of marker, instead of marking, instead of laying these out, if you had a tile that had one of these locations, instead of marking these with one of these tokens and then flipping it, that perhaps an easier way to do it might be to take, for example, one of these damage crystals, because there's a million of them in here. Take one of these damage crystals and actually put that on the map instead, just because keeping these stacked, and there's so many of them, that can be a little bit of a challenge. And actually, I think I may do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bag here. I ordered these, I believe, off BGG store. You can find them anywhere. I'm going to put all these, after I've already flipped them over, in here. And I'm just going to basically use this as a draw bag. We're going to try that. Right? It's not going to change the gameplay in any way. It's just going to be a different way of doing it. So, set that right there. The next thing we'll do is I think that'll be easier in the long run. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to populate our resource track, our resource board. So let's do that. Yeah, let's do that next. Okay. This angle will work just so you see. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a D6, and we're going to roll that D6, and we'll start here with a holo, and work our way around this economy board. And whatever we roll here will be how many cubes we add here onto the economy board, and that will seed our economy. So the first is a 3. So we'll start with 3 holo. So we'll put those there. So there's our 3 holo. Then we'll go to, we got 3, that 3 in the next one here. And I do not remember all the names. So you'll have to, oh wait, that'll be 3 spice. Then we have plasma. Oh goodness. We have a full complement of plasma, which is the blue. It's going to be 6 of those. There's a lot of plasma. And remember, this is a component of the Forsaken Embers of a Forsaken Star. Next, we have Cyber, which is the purple. We have 3 of those. All right. And finally, we have Terra, which is the green. Oh, wow. There's only 1 of those. Cool. So, kind of an interesting distribution there. But that is the distribution. So we've done that. Cool. I don't have the kind of camera. I don't really have cameras. I'm just using basically webcams and such. One of these days I'll have real cameras. Cool. So that takes care of that. I'm going to go ahead and slide this baby right down here. We're going to put our power right there. Got our that right there. We'll leave these. Let's put these over here potentially. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and grab the NPC stats card. Remember, this is the stat card for the NPCs. It's got 2 sides, an A side and a B side. All right, so the A side is the normal side, B side is basically the hard side. And in a normal playthrough, which is what we're going to do, we start on the A side where it's easier. Since we're going to 20, after they pass 10 fame points, this card will flip to the other side, and they will become much more agile and harder to kill if we were to kill them, and do a lot more damage to us if they're the scoundrel or the enforcer if we go bad. So we're going to put this over here. Going to hold on to 2 player aids here. So there's 1 card for player turns. It shows you the major actions, minor actions, etc., etc. And then there is a card for Xia missions and powers because it does operate a little bit differently. And here's something that I did notice because ship powers. It says when acquiring a ship power, pick 1 power, set aside the dress. Using ship powers in this expansion. Unlike previous powers, the powers in this expansion are always active and never placed face down. So, what I'm looking for is if I have a power that's got that yellow X there, then it would basically never flip once I use it. The one we picked is not like that. So, you know, we'll have to keep that in mind. But it's a good reference aid, so I'll say it there, leave it there. And that also gives me my player turns so I don't skip. Because I do find sometimes, and this is true for any game, whether it's Xia or another game, you get very familiar with a game, and you kind of like start just doing things, and sometimes you miss some steps. I mean, I'm guilty of that for sure. So I want to make sure that I'm not missing any steps. So I definitely want to follow that. So the next thing we're going to do. All right, cool. So next we're going to work on title cards. So in the setup, it will tell you specifically in the setup guide down here, there's some titles that we need to get rid of. And these titles essentially have to do with this, they're not for the solo game because they have something to do with the solo, or not with solo, like targeting another player. So those are Avenger, Generous, Heroic, and Benefactor. I actually already have those sitting on top, so because normally I play solo, so we'll set those to the side. We're not playing with the Cell Sword, so I can put this back in the How to Win stack. Put those back in the title stack. So we're gonna shuffle up the titles. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Shuffling. Alright, cool. We're gonna do that. And we also immediately reveal one title. The title that we're going to reveal is Jack of All Trades. Successfully mine, harvest, and salvage in one turn. That's worth 2 fame points, and if we do that, we can add +3 to mining and harvesting for the rest of the game. So that's cool. So we'll put that. Suppose we'll put that over there for now. And we'll put that deck right, places to put stuff, right? We'll put that over here because in addition to that, remember we have events. So here is the event deck. And the events, we're going to have to remove some events, and the 2 events that we have to remove are Change of Heart and Fesco Grand Prix. There's those 2 events. So we're taking those out of the event deck. And again, I'm just going to put that right in there. We're going to shuffle this. Okay. Cool. We'll set that down here. All right. Then the tile, the sector tiles. So let's move this off to the side. Get that out of the way. Cool, cool. Pull out all the sector tiles. And we need to find near, which is going to be the first sector tile that we have to put out. I bet it's in the other. It's in the other stack. No, is that it? Oh, there it is. Right there. All right. So get these back into a similar orientation. So get that stack. And of course we have this other stack. Already have near out. So with this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take half of these, and then I'm going to take half of these. I'm going to do it like that. All right, and then I'm going to shuffle them up a little bit. I try to keep them shuffled randomly when I pick them up too, so hopefully they're adequately shuffled. So I come from there, from the top, top, bottom, top, bottom. Good enough. Cool. All right. Now I have considered like a an alternative way to do this, like have a deck of cards that have all the planets, and then you just draw from a deck and then find the appropriate tile. If you kept these like in alphabetical order, that would be a way to do it. Potentially worth considering, I suppose. And we're going to start right here in the center. All right, and then let's see here. All right, so we draw. It says we draw. Start with the near sector and reveal additional sectors. You have at least 2 spawn points and at least 4 sectors total. So we have near. So we draw this. So that's 1 spawn point and 2 tiles. We have no spawn point. We have, oh wow, another no spawn point. 2 spawn points at least. So I need another spawn point. Okay, so there's the spawn point. And it says we can arrange these in any order we like. Near, we'll start there. And let's see here. Let's put you there. Let's put the gate here. And we'll put this one here. And this one here. Cool. Alright, so there is our system arranged. Let me push this down a little bit. This game does sprawl, by the way. It doesn't take up small amounts of board space, especially when you start moving out with these sectors. But here's the thing. We did not pull Kemplar 2 and Loath. Okay? So what we got to do is we have to go in through our stack here, and we have to search for Kemplar 2 and Loath. There's Loath. Where's Kemplar 2? Excuse me. Nope, that's not it. Nope, it's not in that. Must be way down here. It's going to be a blue Kemplar 2. Alright, there we go. So there's Kemplar 2 and Loath. Alright. And then we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. Because we did not pull Kemplar and Loath, we're going to set these over here to the side. So we're going to take, oh, I did not put this one in there. We'll put that in there. So we're going to take Kemplar and Loath, flip those over. We're going to take the 5 tiles that we got here, and then we're going to mix these up as best we can, because we want Kemplar and Loath to be within those first few tiles. So just keep kind of giving them a shuffle till I feel like I don't have a clue, which doesn't take long for me. Set these to the side. Awesome. So now we have our sector tiles set up. We have our fame track. We've populated our economy. We have our player aids. We have the kiln ready. And we'll just put it, I guess, right here for now. We have our NPC cards that we will deal with in a minute. And we'll worry about NPC powers when they actually spawn and pick them at that time. Next thing we got to do is we need to buy outfits for our ship. Okay. So we could use anywhere between 2,000 and 6,000 depending on whether you used hard mode or easy mode or normal mode. And we're going to just go ahead and use normal to give ourselves a challenge. So I've got 4,000 credits right there. Then I've got to, but now I've got to buy my outfits, right? So let's pull out our outfits here. We have engines, we have shields, we have missiles, and blasters. Enviro shields, GTSs, and MCOMs. So, what I think I'm going to do, I definitely want a good engine. So I'm going to go and spend half of it on the, which engine is this? The Halon engine. That's a D8 for movement. Okay. So we're going to use that. And I'm just going to orient that as best I can for now. All right. And then, so that's 2,000. So that's 2,000. Then I've got to decide about shields and GTSs. I think shield-wise, I think I'm just going to take a regular shield, which is just a D6, so it's another 1,000. Just because you never know. Everybody needs a shield. And I'm trying to orient, there we go. Orient it that way, yeah. Alright, and then I think Enviro shield would be nice. GTS would be nice. And, or, I have to remember I could go for either armor plating or cargo. And I suppose it would make the most sense, wouldn't it? If I went with cargo, maybe put that right there, and then the cargo down here. Just because, remember, oh, you can't see that. Sorry. Oh, yeah, you can. Just because our power, remember our beta grid power has to do with cargo. So let's do that. Let's do that. So that is now all 4,000 spent. All right. We don't need to spawn Scoundrel. We don't have Loath. We don't need to spawn the Enforcer. We don't have the Enforcer. The Merchant. There's no planets out here in his list. And we have to find 2 of those. So he will just sit there for now. Let's take a quick look at the board. Now, normally, remember, we would place the tokens that we've put for now in this bag, right, on locations with the mission icon. So here, is that the only one? Oh, no, there's one right there. But instead, what I'm going to do, we're going to try it anyway, is once a location, oh, there's one up there. Once a location has been pulled from the bag, I'm just going to put a marker there, right, just like that. So if I had visited and picked up the token from all those locations, that's what it would look like. Okay, that's not in the rules. That's just a house rule as well. In terms of house rules, I had considered. I've watched a playthrough, and actually, while I'm talking about that, let me go ahead and put this up. I've seen a playthrough where they took their engine, right? And so if, let's say in our case our engine is a D8, they took the engine and they said, okay, I'm going to roll the D8 and one below that, just because. And this has happened to me in the couple games I've played solo prior to this. You know, you use an energy and you roll the die, and you get so excited and you roll a 1, and you can only move 1 space. Not very exciting. So, you know, you use 2 energy or 3 energy of your armed markers, and you roll that, or maybe even a 2, but you roll really low that many times. It's kind of depressing. And although I guess technically that's, you know, how the rules are, it's not super fun doing that. So it in his playthrough, he took the die, 1 die less. So for instance, if I had, you know, the D8, then he would take a D6 and he would roll both the D6 and the D8, and he would make sure he rolled both of those, and the higher of the 2 is what he would move. So on average, he would move further than if just with the 1 die. The other thing that he had done was the event deck. Instead of, because if you go all the way through, in our case 20 points, you go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So basically, assuming that you got each of these once, in 3 plays, if you went all the way to 20, you would see every event. And some of these events are, you know, the more events you have, the harder it is to track, because some of this stuff will sit out, and then you have to be like, when an event happens, you know, there's a trigger that triggers it, or something that triggers to end it. So it was a little bit harder to keep up with. So I've been on the fence, like, which one should I choose? And I think I really like both of those. So I think, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adopt both of those. So we'll only pull events at 5, 10, and 15. So there'll only be 3 events. And whenever we roll for movement, we'll be rolling currently a D8 and a D6. Okay, so here's a good example. This is a 7 and a 1. So that's pretty good, right? But that's not a good example. A better example, well, that is a good example. Let's say we roll a 1 and a 5. Right, we'll be able to move 5. It is going to mean that we get a little bit more movement on average, but, you know, I think most importantly, part of enjoying a game, and I think the publisher, any publisher would hopefully say this as well, is that you play it in a way that's exciting and fun. And since I'm still kind of really learning the game, learning the rules, and you know, tactically trying to figure out what I need to do, I think I'm going to do that. And then, you know, if I played with somebody and they weren't cool with that and they wanted to you know, stick strictly to the rules, I'm going to set this up here off screen, then I would be like, that's cool, we'll do it. And change it. But for now, that's what I'm going to do. The next thing we need to do is we look to see if there's any ice. There is no ice. However, we do need to put the kiln out. So there's the kiln. It is now on the board. Cool. Like I said, we don't have any NPCs or asteroids, so we can set that to the side. We're not putting out any of the exploration tokens. However, we do have a dead world where there are relics. And again, I'm using this tray for storage for this purpose because it does store these relics pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, whoops, take these out. I'm gonna, although I've already done this before I put them in, give them a little bit of a shuffle here, right, and mix them up and pick them back up in a random fashion. All right, and then we're going to take, whoops, oh, there you go, that's perfect. For this dead world here, it says 3, so I'm going to take 3 of those, drop them right there. The rest of these, I'm going to set off to the side in the component tray and pull from those when required. So that's loaded. Everything else is good. So the next thing we do for setup is we're going to roll this D20, and we are going to see where we spawn. It's closest to 4. There's a 9 and a 10 are the only 2 options, so we're going to be right here. And I believe, hopefully, I have covered everything for the setup. Now that was a bit long, but I wanted you to see that from start to finish. Just because, you know, a lot of times people start with everything set up, but I wanted you to see what that really looked like and see how, you know, what happens as far as pulling all this stuff out for the insert. So, yeah, we're going to end it right there for now. And in the next video, we will start our playthrough. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. You're awesome. If you've played this before, what you love about the game, what you don't like about the game. If you saw me set anything up wrong, and in future episodes for this playthrough of this particular playthrough of Xia, let me know if you see you didn't do anything wrong, or if you have any suggestions, tips, tricks, anything like that. Just let me know. And yeah, I'm super excited about this game. This is a game that I saw. If you saw the unboxing, that I had seen before, and it's been around a while, right? But I finally have it, which I'm super excited about. And yeah, so like I said, thank you guys for watching and subscribing. I'm the Board Game Roamer, and I will see you, my friends, in the next episode. Bye, guys.